What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Toxin Gaming today, people. Today we are going to be going over all the secrets that were released after this current YCS Las Vegas. All the secret rares that are coming in the upcoming Speed Duel Duelist of Shadows GX box coming out March 31st is going to have all these secret rares in here. You're going to get a select few out of this list, but this is what you should be expecting for it. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. First, you have your 3 Sacred Beasts. I don't think these cards are really going to do too much in the format unless they get a skill that kind of cheats them out, or they get any of their structure deck cards, like their 3 level 1 monsters, or their 2 level 1 monsters and their 1 level 5 monster that just kind of cheat them out really easily. Just look up their names in the description of the dueling book. You'll be able to find them. And the other card that I want to talk about is going to be like Macrocosmos. We all know this is going to be like a meta-defining card, so having this card in the format is going to completely shift what we're playing right now in the meta, especially when it comes to Cyber Angels, because you can't really play that deck without having your graveyard resources for protection and for Azana's effects. So having having Macrocosmos just in the format in general just makes it to where you can't even play the current best deck of the format. Next is going to be Golden Homunculus. I feel like this card here is definitely going to be getting some sort of skill based around either Macrocosmos or Helios, which is our other secret rare, but not really much he does in the format unless he does get a specific skill that makes him, like, worth playing, because he's not up until that happens. Helios is also in here as well as another secret rare. Again, I think that both of the skills are going to be based around Golden Homunculus and the other one is based around Helios, or it's based around both of them. Like, just having a skill based around all 3 of these cards could be very, very cool. But only time will tell what we're going to see with that. DD Crow is getting a secret, which we already knew, and we're actually getting a old art Cyber Dragon, which is really cool. I'm actually digging that a lot. I like this art a lot for Cyber Dragon, and being that we already have Cyber Darks in the format, this is the perfect card to have in that deck. Super Polymerization is also going to be sitting in here as well, sorry, with Dark Fusion. These both are going to be getting secret rare printings in this format, which I think is very, very cool. The cards that are going to be in here, the Fusion Summon is going to be Element to Hero Shining Flare Wingman, and then my personal favorite card, like monster card to come out of everything, Evil Hero Malicious Fiend. This was a card I was very unsure about, and it's the reason why I didn't do the Evil Hero list first. I just wasn't sure if this card was going to make it in or not, and now that I see it, it's like, alright, we have our real boss monster. This is what the deck is going to be based around. This is 3500 beat stick that changes all your opponent's monsters to attack position and forces them to attack. It is a very good card, and especially if we get like decent Evil Hero support outside of it, it is going to be probably one of our best decks to play in this format, especially because it's not graveyard dependent. So without Macro being able to hit it, it's going to be a decent deck. The other cards we're seeing is actually Illblood, which is a fan favorite card. I wasn't around for Illblood, not in the competitive scene too much. I think that was during one of my breaks. So this was really good in Synchro format, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just a Gemini monster that just, when it's normal summoned, you get this ability. So you normal summon it and then normal summon it again, you get this ability. But with Haunted Shrine and Book of Life in the format, you get to special summon it and then normal summon it for this effect. It's just once per turn you can special summon a zombie monster from your hand or from either graveyard. But if this card leaves the field, destroy all zombie monsters that were special summoned by this effect. So you just use Illblood to like swarm your field. And that's actually really good in my opinion. Just we don't really have a zombie monster that does anything like this yet. So just seeing this is really cool. Vampire Genesis, we practically knew this card was coming, and it's going to be a secret, so that just makes sense. Vampire Lord is probably going to be a deck that can be played. Unfortunately, it's likely going to be based around the graveyard. Speaking of vampires, we also got Vampire Hunter, which is really good against dark monsters. This card just, if it's Ally Justice Core Destroyer, but for dark monsters, essentially is what it is. It's Star Damage Shift, this card battles a dark monster, destroy that monster. And he's also better statted than Core Destroyer, 16/16. So yeah, he doesn't do well against Vampire Lord. So if he kills Vampire Lord comes back during the standby phase. So yeah, it just doesn't do too much to that guy in particular. Fog King is a card that actually was supposed to come out into the video as one of the main boss monsters for Adrian Gecko that I had thought of. But, I bought a house. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last 2 days and why you guys haven't gotten videos. So yeah, he's really interesting. Very cool card. What it does is that you tribute a monster you control to summon it. You don't even have to tribute a monster, by the way. You can just summon it if you want to, as a normal summon. And then if you do that, or while he's on the field, neither player can tribute cards. So here's another reason why that we're not going to be playing Cyber Angels next format. Here's why I don't think that Macro Monarch is going to be as good as I had originally anticipated it to be, because Fog King here puts both of those decks into checks. And any card that's based around tribute summoning coming up, especially the new Archfiend deck coming out, I think it just gets checked by this card in general. I think it's a very strong floodgate monster, and it's better than the other floodgate monsters we have. Unless we're talking about Jinzo, like Angel 07 is a good one to bring up. Angel 07 is really only played in the sevens deck. Fall King can be played in every deck you want. It is the perfect side deck tech against any tribute summon deck or any deck that tributes for a ritual summon. Moving on, we got Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. I could have told you this from a mile away, but the cool thing about this is actually we got a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon skill, so likely it's going to have a graveyard-dependent skill, allowing it to reborn cards from the graveyard, so that would be really, or summon them from your hand. Don't get me wrong, you can also summon them from hand, but again, it's going to definitely get overshadowed by Macrocosmos. But once Macro gets hit to 1, which we know is going to happen because we're not dumb, Red Eyes Darkness Dragon is going to probably be one of the better decks of the format. Arm Dragon level 10 got put in here. Nothing worth talking about. You won't see it be meta relevant, and if you do, I'll eat a sock. Amazoness Queen is finally confirmed. This is probably the biggest boss monster we've seen out of everything, and if we get Amazoness Onslaught, everything I just said about Macrocosmos being the best deck in the format is wrong, and Amazoness is. Onslaught just turns this deck into a troublesome force to be reckoned with, especially with Amazoness Queen and Amazoness Swordsman on the field, with an Onslaught being able to DD Warrior Lady all your opponent's monsters. Oh my god, that's going to be too much. But yeah, Queen is confirmed as a secret rare, along with Amazoness Swordswoman getting its next reprint being a secret rare reprint. We only have it in common, and we have it in ultra rare, but now we have it in secret. Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. This is, I think, a Go Control card. I didn't really play it too much. If this defense position card battles a monster at the end of the damage step, place that monster to the top of the deck. So it is kind of like a Wall of Illusion, Hyper Hammerhead type of card, Kelbeck. But instead, it just puts it to the top of the deck and makes your opponent draw that monster next turn, which is very, very strong. Allure of Darkness is getting another reprint here, along with Skull Archfiend of Lightning, pretty much being confirmed as the Archfiend's main card, which is really interesting. Again, you have to tribute summon him to bring him out, so it kind of Fall King kind of kills him already. But it is very cool. Hopefully we do see summon Skull, but if not, Skull Archfiend of Lightning is pretty much just summon Skull with an ability. So yeah, it's not that bad. And then a card I thought was very interesting, and if you guys haven't read it yet, you should read it. It's Aqua Chorus. This card, by the way, is going to be a beautiful secret rare. I love this card's art altogether. And having this as the secret of like just a random throw in secret, I like it a lot. This card is going to be really interesting. So the first card that comes to mind when I read this card was Hydrogeddon, because if you have monsters on the field with the same name, all monsters on the field with that name gain 500 attack and defense. So Hydrogeddon becomes 2100 attack points once you beat over a monster and summon another one. And that is just insane. You now have 2 Cyber Dragon statted monsters on your field. Not only that, just any deck that can special summon multiple copies of monsters just gets a boost with this card. This card makes Beatdown into an incredibly stronger deck, and it makes it to where, like, yeah, we're going to see this Banish format, but also Beatdown is going to thrive into the next format because of cards like Aqua Chorus and whatever other Beatdown card they decide to give with it. I have a lot of hope for this card, and it's probably going to be one of those cards that you see me come up with some sort of weird deck with it, because I think it has a lot of potential in this format. But what do you all think? What are your opinions? Like, what's your favorite card? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you guys about your opinions, how excited you are about this, because I know I am very excited. But I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.